Don't do that to me. Oh, now I'm gone. Am I live?
Yep, now you're live.
Oh, I'm live. I switched. I switched views and I came back and the countdown wasn't there anymore. So I wasn't. Oh. Hope that's not a sign for how this live is going to go. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Happy Monday. I'm having a case of the Mondays, so let's change that by doing some creating. Welcome all. I'm so glad you're here. So glad you're here. Should I go ahead and say it? I have a lot. I've got to set my camera up. I have a lot planned today, but you know, that's normal for me, right? I tend to go overboard with the content. That's what I like to do. Hello, welcome. Good to see so many of you. Hi, Jana. Okay, so happy Monday. Today is a reschedule of World Card Making Day. So World Card Making Day was 2 Saturdays ago, and I had planned to go live that night sharing these ideas and such, but Lila got sick, and so I rescheduled it for last week, and then I hit a wall, and you know, I'm just being honest. So today we are sharing it. I'm not sure how long this one will go, Diane. I don't think it'll be 3 hours. Nah. I'm gonna try to keep it under 2. Who knows? Who knows? I was telling Nina over at Waffle Flower, I think she's here in the comments. I was telling her that I wanted to use some of her new fall stuff, which came out a couple weeks ago. But I also wanted to use some older things. And she said for World Card Making Day, we'll do a special offer, a special exclusive offer. And thankfully she was kind enough to let me move that special offer to today. So it's an offer from now until tomorrow at the same time. So this is good through tomorrow, which is the October 15th at 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay. And what this special offer is on some starter bundles of the Postage Collage stuff. Now, I've done a lot of Postage Collage stuff from using Waffle Flower in lives before because they're so easy to use. And she keeps adding more to the collection, which gives us more ways to use like the basic collage stuff. So I really appreciated that she is doing that. Well, today she's offering 25% off their starter bundles, and the starter bundles are actually already discounted a little bit. So the price is already discounted, but then you get an additional 25% off. Mike, can you put up the image real quick? I'm hoping Mike has the image. Yeah. There it is. Okay, so this is for 24 hours only because it's really generous. Any of the starter postage collage sets, these starter bundles include the die and the stencil that works with it. And I'm going to show how the stencil works with it because I don't think I have in a live in a very long time. Now there is an A2, there's an A6, there's an A7, and actually not pictured here is a mini slimline and a slimline size. And they're all, those bundles are 25% off. So if you want to see what is 25% off, at the top of my YouTube description, it says, there's a link, it says this is what's on sale. Just click that link and you'll be able to see the things that are on sale. Very generous of Waffle Flower to do this. There is a code JMINK, and that gives you the 25% off, okay? So I also put at the bottom of my YouTube description, towards the end of the supply list, a link to a bunch of videos that I've done using Waffle Flower postage collage stuff. So you can see the many different looks. I know I've done several lives on these, but I really like them. And I'm gonna show some fun spins on them today in different sizes and such. So just gonna share as much as I can. Brianne has a link there to some of the, one of my other postage collage lives. Thank you, Brianne. So we're gonna create and also show some examples and see what we can get done. How's that sound? And some of it isn't the postage collage, but I want to show you that first, if that's okay. All right, so again, if you go to the top of my YouTube description, you'll see a link that has the word live in it. Mike will put it in the chat here. I recommend clicking that because it'll open up a new page that has the information about the special offer and then all the thumbnails for just scroll down a bit and you'll see thumbnails for everything I'm using, which makes it easier to find what you're looking at, okay? Also at the end of this video, we have some giveaways, so be sure to stay tuned for that. And to be eligible for the giveaway, you just need to be, to leave a chat and Mike will randomly pick someone. All right, so let me just show you first what's on sale on my table, and then we'll get started with some of the products. Hi, Gina, glad you're here. Hi, Carly, welcome all. Okay, so I have here 3 of the different starter bundles that are on sale right now. This is the A2, which I've used quite a few times. And the reason I've always liked using these is Waffle Flower has many layering stencils that work with this. So like, let's see, like this one. This is one of the newer ones. So it lines up to work with this A2 die, and she's got a bunch of different theme ones, from birthday to holiday to Halloween, everything in between. So this is the one that I think I've used the most and is probably the most common. And the sale right now is the bundle of the die and the mask. Now keep in mind, this die actually comes with some little dies like this. I just don't have them right here. So this is the A2 size. You'll see it cuts something a little bit smaller than an A2, so there's a little trim, but the proportions are for A2. Okay, now this is the A6, which I will demonstrate with here probably. This is just a little bit bigger. So this will create you can see the size comparison here. This will create a bigger postage that'll fit nicely on a 4.5 by 6.25. If you have never done an A6 card, I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorites because it's a bit bigger than A2, but not as overwhelming as a 5 by 7. So it's nice to have those options. Now, the A2 there's a lot of layering stencils like this one available to go with this. There aren't yet for A6 and A7, but if you buy the bundle with these dies and the stencil, you can do your own postage with other stencils you may have, which I'm going to demonstrate today. So stay tuned for that. Then another that's on sale is the A7. So this fits on a 5 by 7 card nicely. And the bundle gets you the dies and the stencil. Okay, so there's also a slimline and mini slimline, but I don't have those out here. So A2 is the most common. It has a lot of stencils that coordinate with it, but this is the bundle that's on sale. Here's the A6 bundle that's on sale and the A7 bundle on sale. And by the way, again, there are additional dies that go with this die set, like these additional shapes. I just don't have them out here. I am a big fan of A6. I think it's such a fun shape, a little bit bigger, so you can add more to it. I know like Christina Warner loves making 5 by 7. A lot of people do. So it's nice that there's the different options. A lot of people ask how postage differs between them. If, say you have the exact same card in A2 size, A6 size, and A7 size, the postage will be the same on all of them. They're all rectangle cards. They will all require the same shipping. The size of the rectangle, like these different sizes, doesn't matter with shipping. It's the thickness and the weight that matters. A good way to think about it is if you buy a card at the grocery store, it requires regular postage, right? And most of those cards are like 5 by 7. So a 5 by 7 would be the same. So again, when you mail something, it depends, anytime you mail a rectangle envelope, you need to think about the weight and the thickness, not how big the rectangle is. Does that make sense? So you don't have to worry about different postage for them all. Which size is similar to the Gina K Master Layouts one? I'm not sure. I'll have to go pull that out and look. I don't have it right here because I'm reorganizing, so I have to pull it out. The difference between these and Gina K, Gina's are super cool too. I've done videos with them and I really like them too. Those, I believe those cut out, she's got a die that cuts out the inside of the windows, so it works a little bit differently. I am a big fan of all postage stuff. I know Gina has a few different postage things. Hero Arts has a stacking postage die set that has been out for years. I know Memory Box has some that have been out for years, and I think Spellbinders has a few. But Nina's, or the Waffle Flower, is the first to come out with these kind of like a series of stencils that work with the same one. Does that make sense? All right, so there are different sizes here. I have demonstrated this one many times. I'm going to show you this card here, but I'm going to demonstrate one of the bigger ones. Can you scroll, Mike? All right, so let me set these aside. Let me just show you. Yeah, the Gina ones will work best on an A2 card, but really you can put anything meant for A2 on a bigger card. So that's totally fine. And by the way, A6 sizes vary. Some people do say something a bit different, but I usually do 4.5 by 6.25. If you need a source for A6 or A2 or A7 envelopes, I have them linked in my description below. A non-machinable stamp is something you can get at the post office, which keeps them from putting it through a machine and crushing your card. It just costs a little bit more, and that's a great thing to do with your handmade cards. But I personally like to go up to the desk at the post office and have them weigh it and hand cancel it, and then I can be sure. So all of the ones today are from Waffle Flower, and these starter bundles, that's right at the top of my YouTube description, are the things that are on sale. Okay? All right. Okay, the A6 is different in UK. Okay. I'm not sure what it is there. But the nice thing is you could even just get 5 by 7 envelopes, and your A6 cards could work in it too. So it's nice to be able to mix and match things. So let me just show you right now. This is the traditional A2 bundle. Again, it comes with a few extra little dies. I just don't have them out here. And I'll show you this. I'm not going to demonstrate this one today because I have done so many videos on how the postage collage, like themed stencils, line up with these. I've done many, and I have that list of those videos linked down at the bottom of my supply list. But her newest one, which I used on this, is the Postage Collage Harvest. And these stencils, what's nice about them is they line up to go on this die, okay? But she says on here, this is really smart, it says etched on here, medium. That means to use, oh good, the medium shade. Can you add it to everything? Add the medium shade of ink over this. Here it says corn, because that's what this is. So it just makes it really easy to know what is on each of the layers. So there are 4 layers, and I created this using those 4 layers and the A2 postage size. Again, I've done many of these in videos, so I thought I don't want to take up the time to do this. I want to do something new. Question, are these deals for those of us who have already purchased? Are there deals? Catherine, if you've already purchased like a starter pack of the A2, the others are on sale too. Okay, so all of the different sizes are 25% off right now. All right, so this is the newest Postage Collage Harvest. And I just lined them all up with one of the die cut A2 Postage Collage. And you can see I also used some silver inks in there. So silver for like the pan that the turkey's on and that the corn's on, and that adds to some of the shine. Okay, A6 in UK is 4 by 6.25. So it's just a ½ inch narrow. Okay. All right. If you are curious about what postage is required for things, Christina Werner has over on her blog a great flow chart to figure out what's needed if you don't want to go to the post office and talk to someone. Okay, so I just wanted to show you first the Postage Collage Harvest, and I'll just show you what I was going to add to this. I'm not going to do it right now because it's just gluing it on, but I plan to put Autumn in the center. This is a new die from Waffle Flower. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. It's the autumn word. It has the shadow and the word itself, and I think that's beautiful. On this one, I plan to stamp and cut out the word happy and put it right above autumn. You could put hugs behind it. You can really change it up however you want. But I thought this autumn fit nicely across it. All right, so I just wanted to show you an example of the types of postage collage cards that I've done using waffle flowers in the past because of these themed layering stencils. And this happens to be the new one that she came out with. Let me show you also, while we're here, you don't have to keep those postage pieces together. You can cut right down the dots and arrange them differently on your card. So this was using some of the themed layering stencils and the A2 postage collage, and you can cut them apart and arrange how you want. So this was a video that I did long ago using these, and that's linked at the bottom of my YouTube description. So just to show you, you don't have to keep them arranged like this. Isn't that fun? All right. Okay. All right. Now, one thing I also wanted to mention, because Mike just noticed it. He just noticed it. Real quick, I want to mention this because people have been asking a lot. He just found it. Let me see if I can find it in my stash here. 1 second. Okay. I don't know where the gold is. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. There we go. In an unrelated note, well, it's kind of related. People have been waiting to get the Lisa Horton metallic gold, silver, and copper inks in stock because they keep selling out. And they're back in stock at Simon Says Stamp. Mike, can you put the link in the chat?
Yes.
Okay.
Somebody mentioned it in chat. That's why I.
Oh, okay.
Thank you to whoever.
Whoever did that, thank you. We appreciate it because we've been watching it like you couldn't believe. So these are the Lisa Horton inks that I use in a lot of videos, and I actually used them on here. This is a silver, copper, and gold metallic ink, and I find that it's it's just really nice. They're very nice and juicy. Let me just put some on a cardstock so you can see what they're like. And I like these over stencils too, and stamping with them's good. So you can see they're really bold, silver, gold, and copper. I know, Joanne said she's been waiting for these. So this silver ink is the silver ink that I used for the platters that the corn and the turkey are on. I use them on stencils a lot. So if you've watched my lives, you see me use these so many times, and they've been really hard to get. So they're back in stock now, and it's a set of 3. All right, I just wanted to mention that. I'll probably use some of these today, so it's good that we mentioned it. Can you put it in the YouTube description too, my link list? All right, I think there were some questions I may have missed. So I think I saw somebody say, will there be theme postage layering stencils for the bigger dies? I'm not sure. Nina's here, and maybe she'll be able to answer that. Right now, they're all for the smaller size, but I'm about to show you what you can do with the bigger size and other supplies you may have. All right. Emily, you asked if Lisa's coming out with reinkers for this. Rumor has it, yes.
Someone said that on their site, they said 2025.
2025. So these are pigment inks. Yes, they're pigment inks. Hi, Simon. These are pigment inks, and they're lovely. I've done many videos with her inks. They're beautiful. They're just beautiful. She also has some really cool interference inks too, but there you can see. These are just good basic silver, gold, and copper. Just beautiful. And I will be using them in different ways today. All right, so that is one I just am showing you right off the bat. Okay, and now I'm going to start creating. All right, now this was A2, and by the way, it looks really nice vertical too. Could just have that. Anyway, that was A2, and I've done many with A2. So I thought today that I would demonstrate using the A6 or A7. So I would love to hear from you. Which size would you prefer I demo with? The A6 or the A7? So the A7 is 5x7, and the A6 that this works with is about 4.5 by 6.25. So tell me which one you'd like me to demonstrate with today. And I'll show you how you can use the stencil with the die. Yes, you can cut, no you can't, S. Rogers said, can you cut the die into individual stamps? You can't cut the die, but you can cut the die cut. So that's what this is. After I did the die cut, I cut right down the row of dots and have individual postage. All right, oh dear. It's like alternating between A6 and A7. Look at that. A7? Okay, I'll do A7. How's that? But I do have more with A2 that I'll show you later. We'll play with some other things too. How's that? Now I actually had cut for the A7, so you're gonna have to wait for me while I cut. It's a mix, Mike. I'm seeing more A6.
I was just interested in the A7, how why it's so big.
You were interested, so you picked it?
Yeah, I did both.
They're supposed to pick it. They're supposed to pick it, not you. What did most say? Okay, I'll do A7. I'm gonna do A7, it's the same thing. And I actually have an example for the A6. Okay, so I'll do A7. This is 5, so this goes nicely on a 5x7 card base. Uh-oh. Hold on, let me die cut this real quick. And I see Nina texted me, so yes. Okay, so she says they are sticking with the coordinating stencils, like the theme stencils for A2 for now, because she doesn't want to cause confusion. But I'm about to show you what you can do with the bigger. Oh, look how beautiful this is. So big. I love it. Oh, super. Thank you so much, Diane. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Mike and I won't, my husband's at his friend's tonight, so Mike and I won't have time to make dinner, so we'll use that to get dinner, because we're going to be here instead. All right, so here is the A7. Now I'm going to show you how to use the stencil with it, because remember, what's 25% off right now is the bundle of the die set with the stencil. All right, so let's use the stencil here. I will show you something with the A6 here in a moment. But first, let's do this. All right, I have, whoop, whoop, I'm making a mess is what I'm doing. Do stamp companies sell A6 and A7? Yes, Kona, in the description below, I linked to Simon Says Stamp. They have different size envelopes. But I also linked to Cards and Pockets, which has beautiful colors, high quality of a bunch of different, actually I want to use the other one, a bunch of different colors and size envelopes. So I get from both. What am I doing here? Okay, so this is my Misty stamping tool. In it, in this one, I have my grip mat from Waffle Flower. This is made of a stamp material and it will hold things in place. And I find it gets stickier over time. She has a version 2 available of this right now that has a little more stick to it, and it's great. And I keep it in this Misty, but you can take it out easily. You just got to pull it off, and it replaces that pad that you usually have in your Misty stamping tool. Yes, Cindy, Ken is at his friend Lee's house and they're brewing beer. Retirement, super fun. Oh, Terry, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, and happy Thanksgiving to our Canadian friends. You're right. Does the Lisa Horton ink stamp sentiments well? Renee, I will have to try that. I will have to try that. I have stamped with them and they stamp nicely, but I've mostly blended with them in videos because I think they're just gorgeous, but you can stamp with them for sure. Okay, so I put down my A7 Postage Collage die cut and I put this A7 stencil on top of it. So you can see how it masks off all of the in-between areas. So the nice thing about this is you can now take any stencil, you can take any stamping and do it over this, and then when you take the stencil off, you'll have what look, like some nice looking postage. Does that make sense? All right, so for this one, I'm gonna use some sunflower cluster. So I'm gonna take a vote here. All right, let me take a vote here. Okay, this is new from Waffle Flower, and I'm gonna show you a few different things with it. There is a layering stencil set, and there is this die, and you can use them together or separately. And I'll show you them together and separately, okay? I did make I made a couple other things with it, but I'll show you that next. But I'll be using the sunflower cluster. These are sold together or separately. My question is, what color should I do my sunflower? Should I do like a traditional like yellow, or would you like me to do something unique like pink or blue? Give me a vote for what color I should use. Hi, welcome everyone. Yes, very kind for Waffle Flower to keep coming out with things that coordinate with like our starter stuff, you know, and for doing the starter bundle sale. I know many of you have the A2 die and stencil. Now you have an opportunity to get the bigger. Teal red, unique. Okay, I like the idea of teal. I'm going with teal. We're doing teal. How's that? Let's use, when I think of teal, I think of Gina's colors. So I'm going to use some Gina K inks here. All right. Oh, I see some. Now I have already done two other cards using this. One of them is blue and one is pink. And then I also have another that's in soft sunflower colors. So everybody's going to be happy. I hope. I hope. All right. I need to find my cloth. So I have here again the A7 Postage Collage die cut, and over it is the coordinating stencil. And you can get that die and stencil bundle right now 25% off. So we're going to do pool. I'm taking sea glass ink. I think this is very dry, but we're going to give it a try. And I'm just doing a light amount of this ink over the openings. The reason I'm starting with this is it'll help define the postage shapes, these postage squares and rectangles, and then we'll add some stenciling on top of it. But this is really just about defining those edges. I'm using here Pink Fresh 1-inch brush. You'll see me use quite a few different brushes today because I like to demo with many. This is my, I call this a magic brush because it really works great on applying ink evenly without harsh lines, as you can see here. Very quick. So this is the 1-inch brush from Pink Fresh. Fingernails, they're impressed press-ons. I don't know, a red color. I don't know. I think I have the package here. Hang on, I'll look. No, yeah, I do. No, I don't. Dang it, yes I do. I'm digging in the trash for y'all. Squirrel, yeah, I'm always squirreling it. This is called Golden Harvest. I don't know, impress. Okay, so there we go. I have that. Let me just show you here what, I'm not going to take the stencil off completely. You want to leave the stencil on the whole time, but see how it's defined the edges of my postage. And this nice thing about the stencil is it masks off the areas between. Okay? Will there be a die that will cut the individual shapes and the sizes of the whole? I'm not sure what you mean. If you want to take
one of the stamps, basically.
Oh, what if you only wanted like this postage, just do whatever you want in that square and then cut right along the die cut when you're done. That should be good. Okay. All right. So I'm leaving that stencil on. Now I thought I'd do these sunflower cluster layering stencils over this. So I'm trying to decide, this is what the final overall of the stencils will look like. So let me see, I could do repeat 2, or I could just do one that kind of stretches a bit across. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do one in the center that stretches across. I think that's a good idea. Maybe? Or should I do 2? I think I'll do 1. Do you see what I'm saying? You could do layering stencils up here, layering stencils down here. Ah, okay, Nina just messaged me. Somebody asked if you can do something to cut out the center of the postage. So let me show you that. Hang on, I got to find things here.
They had a single stamp.
Oh, I don't know. I just have to find what my card from before. Here it is. So let me just set this aside for a moment. This is what I think somebody was asking about. This is the Postage Collage block die. Right now, she only has it for A2, but she will be coming out for the other sizes later on. And what you can do with this die is you have this die cut here, and you have it stenciled. You can take this and cut it and it'll cut the little squares out of the center. Or I'm going to show you another way, because these line up. Let me show you how they line up. If I can find my A2. Where'd I put my A2? Mike, where'd I put my A2? Great. I'm looking. Maybe it's up here. There it is. Okay. So this lines up with this. So you could cut either one first. So if you want to cut out something from the center, you definitely could. Or you can cut this piece and just lay it right on top, so it looks like a framed piece. And I like that they have those options. But again, this is the Postage Collage block die, and it's only available in the A2 size right now. Hoping that makes sense. And I've used that block die many times in videos. All right, so we're gonna go with one. I saw most people said one. So I will start by taking stencil number 1, and I kind of want to have it, I'm going to lay them all together so I can kind of see. No, I'll take this. Let me think here. Yeah, I'll do that. So stencil number 1 first. I'm just going to kind of put it like that. And this first stencil is still on there. So that will, that's holding, the sticky mat is holding my first stencil down, and I'm putting a second stencil on top. So I'm using a little tape to hold it. Why am I doing the leaves first? Hang on. Losing my mind. So again, this is the die cut 5x7 postage, and then I have the stencil that coordinates with it laying on top. Then on top of that, I will place my first stencil. I'm going with stencil number 1 because that's the flowers first. I think I'll put them kind of like that. That should work. And I am putting tape on this because I have a stencil under it, which is stuck to the mat. So do you see that? I have a stencil on top of a stencil. So this 5x7, as I showed you, doesn't have like all of those themed coordinating stencils to go with it, but you can use your other products. So any layering stencils or regular stencil you can put on top of this one. And that's why I was excited about the bundle. All right, so I did sea glass for the background. I'll go a little bit darker here. Let's go with turquoise sea. Hey Mike, somewhere out in my stuff that I took this weekend is a container with one of these in my Easy C tape with the blue tape in it. It's in a container about this big.
Who made the
Clear.
envelopes that you were talking about?
If you want different size envelopes, I like Cards and Pockets. Simon Says Stamp also has different sizes. Okay. Now, let's see, I'm just making sure. Brianne just put a link to Cards and Pockets. Okay, so stencil number 1, this is like it actually says on the stencil light. So this is the light layer of the flowers. I'm using turquoise sea ink here. I know this one needs re-inking. I re-inked some of my inks this week, or last week, but not all of them. Haven't gotten to Gina's yet. Sometimes they need to go to the spa. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. So I'm putting down, this stencil said to put the light ink, so that's what I'm going with. I am using turquoise sea. The sea glass that I put on the background is even lighter, of course. Thank you, Valerie. Yes, those metallic inks will sell out quickly. Every time a store gets them, the Lisa Horton metallic inks, they're gone. In fact, I wanted to buy another set of them to share with a friend, and I was having a hard time finding them. All right, so I put turquoise sea. So this is a stencil on top of the postage stencil. This stencil that I'm using right now is from Waffle Flower, and all of that information is linked in the description below. All right, let's see here. It's Waffle Flower, it's called Sunflower Cluster, and there is a die, and there is a, let me get something here, a die and coordinating stencils, but you can buy them separately or together. All right, now I wanted to add a little bit of darker color at the center. So I am using a slightly darker color. This is Tranquil Teal, is that right? Yeah, Tranquil Teal. And I'm using actually a shader brush from Waffle Flower. You could use a lot of different brushes for this, but I wanted to show you when these come in handy. A lot of people ask about these. What I like to do with these is if I want to pull like a darker color out to lighter, I can use this to kind of just drag out like this very quickly. So you can just, like I'm starting at the center of the flower and just dragging that ink out. And it makes for really easy, like darker to lighter, but you can also use other brushes for this. A lot of people ask about these, and I think they're really handy. I think they're really handy for flowers and leaves also. So these are shader brushes. This is the 3+ shader brush from Waffle Flower. And I'm just putting a little bit of this at the center, kind of coming out from the center. I don't want too much because the layer of petals for these flowers, I'm going to use this color, and I want them to look different. Does that make sense? What makes the best, largest selection? Who makes the best, largest selection of layering stencils? That's a good question. It depends on, there's several companies, but it depends on what kind you like. If you want easy layering stencils like these actually build. These don't layer, these build to form. So each stencil colors a new area, but it builds to form something. Waffle Flower's got a lot like this. Christina Werner, Concord and Ninth have these kind of things. Simon Says Stamp has some. Gina's got a lot. If you want more intricate layering stencils, I would check with Altenew and with maybe Honeybee. Those are some good options. But notice how I'm starting to fill this up, right? I'm going to wipe this stencil off a little bit, the ink off that stencil. But remember, I have under there, I kept that collage stencil, so it's keeping the lines in between clear, keeping it white. All right, stencil number 2. How did I just start and I have a mess? I don't understand. All right, now these have engraved grid, or like little etched grid lines that help to make it easy to line up. But I'm just lining it up with the inking I've already done. That works just fine for me, but you can go about doing it however you want. So this says on it darker, I think it's, oh, medium. So this is like a medium shade that we want to use here. So I'm coming in with the Tranquil Teal, which is pretty dark, but I wanted this to kind of be bold. And I will apply this color over it. Okay, what? Oh, thank you, Nada. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. Very kind of you. All right, so over this, I'm using my bigger brush just to save time. You could use a smaller brush for this. And I'm doing Tranquil Teal, and I'm doing kind of a medium application. Then I'm gonna come back and at the center of those flowers, kind of go darker. See how I'm kind of going darker, more towards the centers? And then I'll do a little bit of that on these little ones. The other brush was too big to do just centers. So I put a little bit darker there. Then I want to go really bold. So I am going to go a little crazy here. And I'm coming in with blue denim, which is like a, let me show you what it is. Blue denim from Gina. This is a beautiful color. It's like a bright navy, not like a super dark or deep, okay? So this is Gina blue denim, and I'm just using that shader brush to drag a bit of that darker color out from the center petal of the petals, center of the flower. And it's just going to give us a little more contrast. I'm not doing much here, just a little. I don't know if you've ever seen somebody who uses Copic markers really well. Sometimes they'll come with a really, really dark color and put it like in the nooks and crannies, the darkest spots where you want the most shadow, I guess, or the darkest areas. That's kind of what I'm doing here. All right. Hello, welcome. All right, so you can see what we got going here. It's starting to fill all those different blocks, but the stencil that I have down there, that's comes in the bundle or separately, is keeping it clean between. Okay, Vicky asked, you often use Altenew's large blending brushes and Pink Fresh. What's the difference? Let me show you the difference. I like both. I'm finding that I reach for the Altenew now for when I want to go heavier over large areas, and the Pink Fresh when I want to go lighter. I think why I like these bigger brushes than some of the other bigger brushes for me personally is because it's flat. I like the flat. I feel like I get a better blend. Now the reason these are good for lighter is notice how it's looser, you know? This is, you can see how tight the bristles are in. So I like them both. If you have these and are happy with them, stick with it. I used these for a teaching event and I was blown away. I called them magic. I just think they work really well. But listen, folks, there are so many good big and small blending brushes from different companies, and different people hold them differently. It's totally up to you. You might want to experiment with a few different things. Yes, Gina's inks are beautiful, beautiful. She's got a good classic color collection, I think. Let's do the leaves next. So see how I got that little bit of darker color towards the center. Now I'm coming in with this stencil for the leaves. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys are able to get that metallic ink. Whoever let us know that it was back in stock, because I checked this morning and they weren't there. Let us. I really appreciate that you shared that. All right, let's do some greens. I'm going to go light into dark. So this is Jelly Bean Green, which is a great color from Gina. Now, remember, I put down light ink at the beginning, remember, to define the stamp squares and rectangles, but I put it light. So if I go with colors on top, it's fine, especially because I'm putting green and blues on top of blue, and that will work well. Does that make sense? So it's okay that there's already some ink there. All right, so let's do this Jelly Bean Green, beautiful color. And I'm just putting this color over all of it, not really trying to make it darker in any areas or lighter in any. As always, when I apply over stencil, I like to go wax on and wax off. So that means spin your brush in both directions, because that gets the ink like into all the crevices better. All right, I'm going to use one of those Lisa Horton inks here in a moment. All right. All right, so I did that Jelly Bean Green. Now I'm coming in with a darker Fresh Asparagus. Those, by the way, are two beautiful colors that work well together for foliage. So just like them together. So I'm using one of those shader brushes, again, from Waffle Flower. And I'm starting kind of at the base of the leaf and dragging it in. And in this case, I'll get just that dark bit right on the inside edge. Now, you could use a regular brush to do this, but the nice thing about this shader brush is it keeps the darkness really at that edge, and you just drag it where you want it to go. So for this middle part here, it's actually a leaf that's hidden by flowers, so I'm going to drag some of that green, darker green in along all the sides. If you're looking for an affordable option for small brushes, the Waffle Flower dual-ended brushes, I've shown those in videos before, and I know a lot of people really like them. Those are excellent. I have mine I'm reorganizing them, so I don't have them down here right now, but I thought it was a great time to show these shader brushes. See how it's dark right there? I'm pulling it out to blend. And it'll smooth and lighten even more as it dries. So let me show you what I got here. Let me move some things before I'm out of room completely. And see how that darker color is inside the edge? Isn't that cool? All right. Yes, wax on, wax off. I will talk about those inks in a moment. I have one more stencil here, and I'll actually use one of them. So this is the Flower Centers. You could do a variety of things here. I'll do brown first, like a brownish color for the flower center. I think I'll use, sorry, my phone is ringing. My apologies. We usually take this out and Mike's upstairs. Okay, let's use Warm Cocoa from Gina. This is a great brown. Are we good? All right, Warm Cocoa. Just get a brown blending brush here, and I'm just going to apply a pretty heavy amount of that warm cocoa over the whole openings. See how it's a nice brown? I sometimes have troubles with browns. I don't know. Black would be beautiful too. You could come in with, even with a shader brush in black and make it like dark brown at the center and black on the edge, but I'm going to do something different here. I saw somebody ask what blending tools I use with the gold ink or with these Lisa Horton inks. I like to use foam blending tools, and I'm going to demonstrate that now. I saw somebody ask what about these inks. I'll just mention briefly again. This is a set of 3 inks that are pigment inks, and they do these beautiful metallic looks, silver, gold, and copper. And I just think they're absolutely beautiful. And they are really hard to find, and they're back in stock. So Mike has a link that he can share. But I thought I would use, I think I'm going to use the copper. I haven't used the copper in a video yet. Tim Holtz has 2 sizes of these kind of blending, or these inking tools. I just am using the tiny version. This is the mini and this is the tiny. But you could use blending brushes with these, but I would keep that brush designated to only these inks. I think it's better to use a foam applicator. It just makes it easier to give a smooth result. So I'm going to use the copper pot, that's part of the set, and I'm going to drag some of that ink in from the edge. Just like kind of halo. Let's see how we do this. Yeah, I'll do a little halo. So I'm not putting it on super heavy, just like a little halo. And I might go back and buff it a little bit so I have a nice bit of that brown showing in the center. All right. So this is the copper color. You could use the gold here too, but I hadn't used the copper in a while. So let me just buff some of that off. I don't want it to be too coppery. And then we'll remove this stencil. The flower stencil is the sunflower cluster from Waffle Flower. And there's a coordinating die, which I'm going to show you in a moment. You could definitely use distress inks here. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so now I'm done using all of the layering stencils for that floral. Now I can remove my 5x7 postage stencil. Ooh, I love it, I love it, I love it. And now look at that. So I got that postage collage look using a layering stencil set that's unrelated, and it's bigger. All right. So the advantage of the bundles that she has at 25% off right now is you get the die and the coordinating stencil, so you can do this kind of look. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. Whoever picked teals, good choice, good choice. All right, now there are lots of things we could do here. I could do some like a speckling or splatter or whatever you spatter, whatever you want to call it. But I think I am going to probably keep this, I think I might keep this as is and just tell you some things that you can do with it so that we have time to do other things. Let me find something here. What I could do is I already have here this birthday wishes from the Waffle Flower Essential Celebrations. This is when it was on my favorites list a few years back. I like it because every occasion's in here and there are coordinating dies available. And this would look really nice there in the center or even kind of offset a bit, maybe up in the top center. Another thing I could have done is put all of my flowers off to one side and stamp a sentiment on the block. But I like to have it more in the center, on top of everything. Can you scroll it, Mike? Now, if you've watched any of my videos about the postage, Nina has many, or I'm sorry, Waffle Flower has many of these type of postage collage stamp sets. There was the original one, which you can see mine is very well used, very well loved. This is the original postage collage stamp set, and it has all of these little details you can stamp on the postage die cut piece. But she also has theme ones, like this one's the fall themed one. There's a spring theme one. There's different themes that you can use to decorate the postage. So this one here is A7. This is a big mama right here. This is a big mama. I know I've got an A7 card base in there. So I think this is I'm gonna put right in the middle. And remember, you could cut this out and just have like 1 or 2 to decorate somewhere else. So you could cut these out and arrange them on a smaller card if you wanted to. I think I'll put my sentiment right there. So I'm going to stamp some things around it. All of these were falling apart on me because I use them so much. I think I'll do the sending hugs and this guy right here. No, I'll just do this right here. We'll kind of fill in that area. And then I'll do sending hugs up here. Mike, are there questions people are asking? Any questions? Isn't that sunflower stencil gorgeous? I'm going to show you some more examples with the sunflower.
The last one's probably good.
Last question. Jennifer, I have the Altenew metallic inks. How do they compare to the... Okay, so who was that? Leanna. The Altenew metallic inks are more subtle. These are more intense. These seem to be juicier. I like to use the Altenew ones when I want to do like a soft shine over something. These are more intense. I'll show you the copper that I applied here in a moment. Let me just line some of these up just so you can get an idea of things you can do. First class mail up here. Usually I make these kind of overlap some of the white area, but you could do it however you want. Lots of fun little sentiments here. Let's put forever down here. Is there another one, Mike?
Yeah. Someone said, can you have her place it next to the A2?
Yes, I will place it next to the A2 here in a moment. Let me finish putting some stamps down.
Have you tried Luxe envelopes?
I have not tried Luxe envelopes. I'll have to try Luxe envelopes, huh? I can try them. I'm always up for trying new things. And I'll put this one like right here. Good enough.
Have you used acrylic pens on these stencils? Are they easy to clean?
The stencils, waffle flower stencils are the high quality, just like high quality normal stencil. You just use like a spritz of rubbing alcohol to clean it. So I've lined up some of these Postage Collage. Again, she has many Postage Collage stamp sets. I did put in my YouTube description right at the top a link, like at the top of my supply list, a link to all of the postage theme stuff she has. So you can just see all of the options. But the things that are on sale are those starter bundles, which include the die and the stencil. So this is the 5x7. I use the die and then I use the stencil. And now I'm using some of the Postage Collage stamps here. And remember, you could use smaller stamps in these areas, which I'm going to show you in a moment. So you don't have to do stencils over it. Look at that. So now I can remove this and you can see how we have a Postage Collage look. Now see that copper in the center? Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. And that was just a light application. All right.
Does that dry just as quick as other inks?
The metallic? No. This is the Gina K inks dry very quickly. They're dye inks. These are pigment inks. These will take longer to dry. Just give them time to dry or heat set it. Okay? And then you'll be fine. Pigment inks sit more on top of the paper and take longer to dry. So let me show you this in comparison to other things. I'm not going to put this in here because I think I want something more bold. And I'll probably do that later. I will finish these cards and show them on my blog. Got a hello. I thought I had a hello one out. Y'all, when I have to look for things, I greatly apologize. I have a giant, like I prep so much stuff and I have it all organized, but then when people are watching, you can't find a thing. You can't find a thing. Yeah, I can't find it. How's that for helpful? I don't know. I don't know.
That doesn't help you at all.
No, that doesn't help. Hold on. Oh, it's underneath there. I'll show you in a moment. Well, first, I will show you a size comparison here, okay? This is the A2 Postage Collage die. This is the 5x7. So there's a comparison. And the A6 would be right in between. No, I got it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'll find it. Because I'm going to show them something cool here. Let me find an A7 card. Here, by the way, let me show you this too. This will be helpful in seeing a size comparison between things. So this is an A6 card. This is a 5x7 card. And this is a A2. So this is A2, A6, A7. Those are the size comparisons. And the bundles, the die and postage die and stencil bundles, she has available for all three. So this is A2 here. This is A6, which I'll play with later. But this is 5x7, and here's the 5x7 collage. You can see it fits nicely on there. Isn't that pretty? That's fun. That's really fun. So my whole point is the A2, because I get a lot of questions about this, her A2 stencil or postage collage die has many theme stencils that line up with it to give this kind of look. She doesn't have those for the bigger, but you can do it yourself using that big 5x7 A2 postage, or I'm sorry, 5x7 postage collage die and the stencil, and then use whatever you want with it. Stamp over it, stencil over it. Isn't that gorgeous? So this flower here was created with the sunflower cluster stencils. There's a coordinating die too from Waffle Flower. It's in the YouTube description below. Now I wanted to show you one more thing that Waffle Flower came out with that I was really happy about, and was actually one of the things that got me thinking to do this, because I am very happy about it. And I will show it here to you. She has come out with these piercing dies. Now, let me tell you a little bit about piercing dies. If you have, or about her stacking dies, Nina has a lot of great, like, stacking, I guess you would call, die sets, where there's lots of the same shape, but in different sizes. And what I like about what Waffle Flower does is she has the regular set, and then there's one called additional. And that gives you the in-between sizes. And I'll demonstrate that. Well, she's just come out with the A7 piercing dies, or piercing layers. Then there's the additional piercing layers in A7. Then she's got them in A2, and then she has them in A6, which my A6 are somewhere in one of these piles. So these are brand new. She just came out with these. Here it is. So there's the A2, the A6, and the A7. Now let me show you why it's nice that there is the regular layer set and then the additional layer set. So let's look at the A2, because that's what most people usually use. So this is the additional piercing layers, and this is the original. So in the original, there's lots of different sizes, and the biggest is the A2 size, 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. Now in the additional, it's the in-between sizes. So here you have what's in the regular, and you can see in the additional, it's just a bit smaller. So if you're one of those who likes to layer your like rectangles or shapes with a really tight mat, this is nice. So between both sets, you have lots of options for layering. So these, they look the same, but they're slightly different sizes. So these are like the basics, and these are in between those. Does that make sense? And I like the piercing look. Another reason I mentioned this in a video a few days ago, a lot of large rectangle dies, if they just cut the rectangle, the metal is really thin, and sometimes it cuts a warped piece when it goes through the die cut machine. This is wide enough that it won't do it. So she has these 2 different sets for A2, 2 different sets for A6, and 2 for A7. So you can see the biggest in the A2 additional layering die is just a nice fit on an A2 panel. Does that make sense? Nina, do you have a link for the die that cuts out the blocks for the A2 postage? It's in my supply list below. It is called the, let's find it. It was there. It is the postage block die. It should be. It should be. Mike will have to look. All right, let me just show you. I'll use, yeah, postage collage block die. Mike says it's in my supply list. So let's use the A7 behind this. All right. These, by the way, are going to get that in that permanent spot of a magnet inside my cabinet. Do the piercing dots show in the next size down? Marsha, I'll show that to you. How about that? I will demonstrate. All right, so let me take the biggest of each out. One of these will be 5 by 7, and then the additional set, largest size, is a little bit smaller. So let's do that now. Now, what color cardstock should I put behind this? I think I should do Gina K Sea Glass. All right, let me find it. Here it is. Yeah, let's do that one. Okay. So this is Gina K Sea Glass. Yeah, Karen's right. She said she likes that they're offering more, the companies are offering more for 5 by 7. I know a lot of people overseas love to do 5 by 7, and Christina uses 5 by 7 quite a bit. What's nice about using a bigger size is you can obviously fit more on it, but also it's just fun to change things up. A lot of us get stuck in a rut of doing A2 all the time, so it's nice to change up the size. But if a 5 by 7 size feels too big for you, you can always do that slightly smaller A6 size. Yes, this is, Michelle, you're right. Sea Glass is always a good choice. So this is Sea Glass from Gina K. By the way, I've been getting a lot of questions about cardstocks lately, and like what are some good ones? Gina's cardstocks are very heavyweight. This is like 100 or 110 pound, and it's the good kind of 100 and 110 pound, very heavyweight. So you could use it as a card base, no problem. There you go. A lot of people do 5 by 7. So this is good that I'm demoing it. I do have an A6 though, I can show you too. Okay, so I cut the biggest pierced layering die from the regular set and then the additional set in the 5 by 7. So here are the two. This one cuts 5 by 7 completely. Goes right up to the edges of my card base. This one cuts a little bit smaller, so there's a little bit of that trim sticking around the edge. Okay? Or you can put them on top of each other. Now when you put these on top of each other, the dots just show a hair around it. So let me hold it up so you can see. Can you see? Do you see the dots? Isn't that cool? So the dots, so the bigger one is the regular pierced layering die set, which cuts 5 by 7. And then the slightly smaller one is from the additional set for the 5 by 7. And these come in the A2 and A6 too. Isn't that pretty? So you could use either with this, but I think I'm going to use the full 5 by 7. Whoop, about to knock things down. So let me put adhesive on the back of this. This is going to run out. I knew it was going to run out. I keep running out of adhesive. Let's try to switch here. Okay, so this is the biggest, A7. Oh, I love this. It's just a nice, that piercing gives you a nice finished look. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Always been a big fan of piercing. And then this I would glue on here. Now I probably will go back and die cut 2 more additional postage die cuts and glue it behind it so this pops out a little bit. You could use foam tape if you prefer, but for now I'll just put it on there. See how it fits nicely on there? And you can see that pierced look around the edge. Yeah, I like the layered too. All right, so this is the 5 by 7 postage collage die. And I used the coordinating stencil too. That bundle's on sale 25% off. Then I also used the sunflower cluster layering dies. And then the piercing dies that give that nice little pierced detail. And I really like, can you see that, how close those little piercing details are? Isn't that beautiful? Yes. So it's a nice change over just a plain rectangle. Yes, you can go back and watch this anytime. You could rewind now if you wanted to. So there we have that. I just need to add a sentiment. I wanted to show you those things. All right. Now, I did do a few other things with the sunflower collage. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Who is that? Ruth, I'm sorry. She says she needs this now. Now here, I did, right before we went live, just so I could practice, I used the A6. Pull it out here. I'm going to set that one aside. This one is the A6 postage collage die and the coordinating stencil. That bundle's on sale too. So I die cut from white cardstock. I placed the stencil over it, and then I again did the sunflower cluster layering stencils. So now you can see this one here is A6, this one here is A7. On this one, I did some light colors. By the way, just so you know, that light background color, it's like a light cream color. It's beautiful. That is it's Rainbow Splash Buttercream color from Simon Says Stamp. Rainbow Splash is a Simon Says Stamp line, and it's just such a beautiful color. And then they have, oh, here it is. Then they have the buttercream cardstock that matches it, and I use that and cut it with the A6 piercing die. So that would look nice behind there. All right. And these were done with the yellow and green inks from Gina. So there you see the difference, A6, A7. Now, this one I did off screen in A2. So there's your 3 sizes, all using the same layering stencil over it. All right. There you go. I'm just looking at the comments here. Yeah, I like this middle size. I really like it. I do this with 4.5 by 6.25 inch note cards. I just cut them in bulk.
You see Erica?
Oh, Erica, thank you.
We'll slow that.
Thank you. Yeah, Erica, I'm sorry. I'm slow to respond. I owe you a text. Sorry about that. And by the way, on here I used one of the piercing dies, but I did one that's smaller so you can see the little pierce detail around it. Isn't that fun? Can you, such a soft yellow. Yeah, this I did, I used sweet corn, honey mustard, and a bit of, let me see, I can't remember. A bit of Hero Arts pumpkin for these, and I went lighter. But the background is the Rainbow Splash buttercream, which is all linked below. Okay, so those are the 3 that I did with this. It's 408. Trying to think of what I got. I got so many things. Why do I always plan so much? This one I did a little bit different, so I could show it. Do you see it's got the details on it? Because I made an impression with the die before I did the stenciling. Where did that sunflower die go? There it is. So it's got that detail to it. Oh, by the way, the colors on here are some of my favorites. These pinkish purples are the Gina K. I did the light orchid, the dark orchid, and plum punch for those. Those are Gina K. All right. Now, let me think here. Let me think here what I want to do next. I will ask you. How about that? I'll ask you what you want to see. Would you rather me demo this, which is a shaped card, and it uses that sunflower cluster? So it's a shaped card. It stands up on display. Or would you rather see this one where I added the detail to it? To do this technique where you add the detail to it, it's got to be with the A2 size, and you would see why. So tell me which one you like. Thank you, Melody. Tracy, yes, I'll do that. I will share how I make my card bases. I'll do that before I start this next one, but let me know which of these you would like to see. This is very similar to what we just did, so maybe the shaped would be good. Okay, I see lots of shaped already. So I'll do the shape, but first, who was it that asked me about card bases? I'll do that.
Tracy.
Tracy, okay. Tracy, let me show you about card bases. Let me just put a few things away. How I do my card bases. I should just do a video on this because it's always good to go through. There are other ways to do this. This is, now everybody's saying detail. Maybe I'll do a video with the detail one. Maybe I'll do a bonus video with the detail one. How about that? Would that work? I don't know. Maybe I'll squeeze both in. We'll see. But first, let's take a break so I can talk about different size card bases. Tracy asked, how do I go about making different size card bases? If I want to make top folding A2, this is what I do. I take a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock and I score it down the center at 5.5 inches. Now I'm going to go through this pretty quick. You can always bookmark this video and refer back to it. So I scored it right down the middle. Oops, sorry. And reinforce that fold. Then I just have a folded piece of cardstock. Then cut in half at 4 1/4. Gives me 2 top folding A2 cards. I do these in bulk and have them set aside so I don't have to do it every time. And it's nice that you do 2 at once. It's always better to score first than cut. It saves you time. Now if I wanted A2 side folding cards, which most people like, I like top folding, but most people like side folding, you put your cardstock in your scoreboard in the other way, and we're scoring the long ways. So I score down the center at 4 1/4. My trimmer is short, so I rotate it. Do it again at 4 1/4. So I have a score line going all across it. And we fold this like a hot dog bun, reinforce it, and then cut in half at 5.5. And now we have two A2 note cards that are side folding. So that's how I do my A2 note cards. And I do those in bulk and I keep them. Now I do also do A6 and A7 in bulk. And I have those in the side too, just not as many. Let's do A6 first. I wonder if I can find my Post-it. So this is what A6 is. Now when I make these, you only get one card base out of a sheet of cardstock, but you'll have scraps that you can use for something else. So A6, what I like to do, I start by scoring my paper in half. This is what I like to do. I think it's the easiest way to do it, okay? I score it 5.5, so it's just in half. Score it in half, fold it in half. Then I take it and I cut it to that size. There are other ways you can do it, but I find this to work the best. So I cut it 4.5, turn it and cut at 6 1/4. Now this right here, I keep in my drawer. Next time I need to die cut a sentiment, I have little pieces of cardstock to use. These go in my strips drawer. So that's how I make an A6. It's 4.5 by 6 1/4. A7 is very similar. I start with a full sheet of cardstock, score right down the middle at 5.5. It's just easiest to start with that for both. So when I bulk do this, I go and I score right down the middle, make a bunch like this. Then I go and trim it to 5 by 7, which means I cut off an 1.5 inches this way, and now I have a 5 by 7 card. All right, what was wrong? Something wrong with it?
No, I had to reload my YouTube.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, hope that helps. I could do another video about that. Top folding A6 card. The hard part about that is this is 6 1/4. So you need a piece of cardstock that is 12.5 inches tall. And I don't have that on hand. You can buy like giant size pieces of cardstock and do that, but I never have. I think Simon Says Stamp may sell top folding 5 by 7 card bases. I think they might. I'm not sure. I'd have to go look. But in that case, you could use those and cut them down a little bit to get a top folding A6. Okay. Oh, scoreboard is not on the supply list. Mike will add that. It's from Altenew. Altenew scoreboard. Yep. All right, let's do this real quick. It won't take long because it's pretty simple. Well, ish. Simple for me, I guess. Let me move all these little guys, put them in their container. All right. Everybody doing okay? Hi, Penny. All right. So again, I have my version 2 grip mat in here from Waffle Flower. And I used, oh dear, gotta find them, the Sunflower Collage die. And I cut it twice from white cardstock, okay? Twice from white cardstock. And I will place one right onto my grip mat here. Somebody just asked, while I'm cleaning my stencils, because I didn't do that before, bad me. Somebody just asked how, or what cardstock I use for my card bases. I use 2 different cardstocks for my card bases. The one I use the most would be Neenah Classic Crest Solar White in 110 pounds. And you got to make sure you get that particular one. I have it linked in my supply list below. Not all 110-pound Neenah cardstocks are the same, so you want to make sure you get the right one. If you're in my Facebook group, the Share Handmade Kindness Facebook group, I did a write-up on the different white cardstocks that I like for different things, so you can check that out. Then the other one that I like to use sometimes, if I have like a card that I really want to make sure is nice and strong, maybe it's got a lot of things going on, or I just want it to feel extra special, I would use Brutus Monroe 130-pound Not Your Mama's cardstock. That is the heaviest. But for most things, and what I'm using here today, and what I do bulk of, is Neenah Classic Crest Solar White in 110 pounds. It's a cover stock. You want to make sure you get that. The grip mat, Kathy, that I have in my Misty is the grip mat from the 6.5 by 8.5 grip mat from Waffle Flower. It's in my supply list. All right, and this is, it's made from the same material as clear stamps, and it's just got a little grip to it, and it's great for using in your Misty or for stenciling, which I'm about to do. All right, let's do this again. Got the first stencil. This is the light. Let's line this up, move it over a bit. Now you have the option. There are 2 different ways you could do this. You could stencil first and then die cut, but it's harder. So I'm starting with this. Oh, what color flowers should I do? I did blue here. What should I do? Let me know. Somebody asked something about black claws. Can you scroll?
Black claws instead of the green and pink.
Oh, I use both. These are from Simon Says Stamp. They're new from them, and I like the size of them. I like smaller size ones. And these are the ones that I use a lot too. I have a handful of both, and I just use them until they're dirty, wash them, and use them again. Both are great. All right. What did anybody say? Purple. Purple. Coral. Peach. Oh dear. I see mostly purple. I personally would choose coral. I love coral, but I saw purples first. Is it still the most popular, Mike? Purple, purple, purple. Oh gosh. Well, I did, if you scroll back, I did like a fall sunflower colors.
Big mix.
Oh, you want orange. People want
purple. Purple or orange?
You know what's wrong with this, guys? I'm a people pleaser. I'm in trouble. I showed pink earlier. Now I'm seeing more coral. You know what? I did a kind of a purpley before. I did this pink and purple one before. So maybe I should do like, how about a corally orange? I'm going to do corally orange. Corally, that's a new color here. Let's see. Let's start with, oh, where's my coral berry, Mike? It's missing. How can it be missing? It's not where it's supposed to be. That's very sad. That's my favorite color. Oh, darn. Okay, I'm going to have to use a different one. Hang on. I'll come over here and use these. Let's start with Coral Reef from Pink Fresh. All right, I'm going with a corally orange. All right, I don't know. Sadly, I'm a people pleaser, so this is, I shouldn't ask, because now I'm going to be laying awake at night tonight thinking of all you who love purple.
Including your daughter.
What?
Including your daughter.
You know, I could have easily masked off and done one purple, one orange, one coral. I'm a people pleaser. It's not a good thing. I'm working on it. I know it's bad. Okay, so I did a quick application of Coral Reef. This is Pink Fresh Studio Inks. They just have a nice coral, so that's why I'm here with it. And then I have Passion Fruit. Let me get one of my shading blending brushes here. Oh. This is passion fruit, which is a bit darker, and I'll put a little bit of that kind of coming out from the center. All right, Mike, hit me up with the questions while I do this.
Let's see. When I'm blending, sometimes the ink feathers out after the stencil is lifted. Do you have any questions?
Oh, the ink feathers out after the stencil is lifted. I don't know why.
Cardstock?
Let me know. The person who asked that question, sorry, I can't look up while I do this, is what cardstock and what inks are you using? Because I've never had feathering out after lifting a stencil. Maybe somebody else here has. You're welcome to mention if you have. So I just used my Waffle Flower shader brush, Brenda, thank you, to put a little bit of darker color and drag it from the center out. See how that stencil lines up with the die cut. Patty asked, how do I know whose ink I'm going to use? Patty, there are just so many great inks out there that I try to do kind of, why did I put that away? A few different ones. And, oh, there's only 20 Lisa Horton inks left, you think? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. I try to use a mix because there's so many different good ones. But honestly, I go by color. That's why when people ask me, if I want to buy one ink collection, what should I buy? And I always say, I don't know, because I go by color and I like to mix my inks. I love to mix my inks. I said I was going to pull orange in, didn't I? Oh, well, I didn't. So I know, like, I love the corals that Pink Fresh has. I know I love those orchid colors like this that Gina has. I know that let's see, Hero Arts has some great aquas. So really I just think about, oh, I need to add some detail to this. Who's got the colors I want? Hi, Libby. Welcome, welcome. So here I'm going to switch, I think. Let's go to Hero. All right, I'm going to use Cranberry from Hero.
Will the Misty go through 2 stencils at once and you put 2 on?
Will the Misty what?
Work with if you have 2 stencils on.
In what way?
Somebody asked.
Where did it say it?
Oh.
He's got to find the question because I don't get it. Hello, everyone. I'm glad you're here. So this time this is Hero Arts Cranberry, which is a great cranberry color. Can you ask Jennifer if you can stamp through 2 Waffle Flower stencils on the Misty? Like if I wanted to...
Probably just masking off 2 areas.
Yeah, you should be able to. So yeah, you can stamp what I showed you before when we were doing the postage collage. If you had that, like this stencil down over your postage die cut, you can stamp over that for sure. I think that's what she meant. Now I'm not doing a great job here because I'm trying to hurry, but I put some cranberry towards the center of those. So now we have our petals. Oh, that's pretty. Isn't that pretty, Mike?
It's pretty.
That's pretty. Oh, Mike. Okay. Now this one, we'll do the greens. Do I still have my greens out? Let me check here. I don't think so. Yeah, I do. They're somewhere out here. Looking for my Gina greens that I used. Here they are. No, that's Hero. That's Hero. Well, we'll use Hero this time. How's that? Nope, there they are. Guys, it's so hard to not lose things. Hi, Betsy. All right. So this is Gina K. We want this is the fresh asparagus. Where did I put jelly bean green? Y'all. Everything is hiding. We'll switch. We'll use apple green from Hero Arts, and then we'll use the fresh asparagus. All right, so I've got green apple from Hero Arts. Again, I'm just picking greens I like. All right, any questions here, Mike? If you're just joining, be sure to go back and watch. I showed a completely different card design using these stencils before. A few cards, actually. I just did some light green apple, and now we'll come in, that's from Hero Arts. This is Gina K Fresh Asparagus. This is much darker, so I'll be careful not to go too dark, and I'm kind of dragging that from the base out. Hit me up with questions, Mike.
Can you buy the block stencil separate?
Yes, the stencil, yes, yes. The block stencil like this, that coordinates with the postage dies, that is, you can buy separately. So if you already have the postage die and you want to get the stencil, it is sold separately. You'll just go down to my supply list, and I have a link for all of the postage collage stuff. Today is the bundles. So if you already have one, you could get a different size. The bundles where you get the die and the stencil is 25% off, which is super generous. And by the way, Nina told me a secret that on Sunday they're having a big sale of some products, not these things that we're doing, these bundles like this, but there's a flash sale on Sunday. So stay tuned for that. I will be sure to let you know on my sales page. All right, have you found an inexpensive cardstock to replace accent cardstock? Okay, so years ago, I mentioned there's a cardstock called Accent Cardstock that was very affordable. And the nice thing about it is that it was super heavyweight. I mean, super heavyweight and inexpensive. I didn't really love it for stamping, but it was nice for card bases. Then it disappeared for a while. It wasn't available for a while. It's available again, but it's not as good of a price. And for the price that Accent is at now, I would just spend a few more dollars and get the Nina Classic Crest, because then you could use it for so much more. That's my personal opinion. But no, I have not found another ultra heavyweight white cardstock that's very inexpensive for card bases. I wish I did, but I have not found that. All right. Imaginary budget. Yeah, this is gonna be pretty. But here's the thing, it's gonna be pretty because it's just designed so well, you know? It's just designed so well. This time I'm coming in with the Lisa Horton Solid Gold. Is that sold out yet, Mike? Because I wanted to buy a set. I'll wait.
15.
Oh, it's almost out. Okay. That's okay. And then last time I kind of spread the ink over it. I spread copper over it. This time I'm spreading, or I was kind of pouncing a bit of gold over the centers, but kind of just to the outside edges. See that gold? Oh my heavens. Isn't that gorgeous? Now these pop out here. So you got the shaped card here. Pop these out. Whoop, whoop. There we go. Isn't that fun? Yeah, Accent, Anne-Marie said Accent comes in and out of stock. It's true. The other day when I checked, the price just wasn't that great. It wasn't great enough for me to recommend it over other things.
What magnets do you use to store your dies? Are those the Amazon or Crafted storage? Looking in your
First of all,
Stampin' storage.
First of all, y'all, one of the nice things about Waffle Flower, look at Waffle Flower's die has this magnet in it, which is quite nice. See how it holds it there? I just wanted to mention that. When I want to store my dies on a magnet, I use a thinner magnetic sheet. And that's on Amazon, Mike. Okay. When I just want to hold my dies so I can look at them easily while I'm crafting and then put them back in the package afterwards, I use these heavyweight magnet dies from Lawn Fawn. These are, see how thick they are? And these hold really well. So it's nice when you're working, I put all my dies on it and then I don't lose them on my desk. But I don't want to store on this because it's so thick, it'll take up room in my storage. and it'll cost more. All right.
I'm gonna put the wrong ones on the Amazon.
What?
Somebody asked.
Okay.
So I was gonna put it on, but
I have no idea. That's all you. I can talk about those magnetic sheets in a future video. You know what, Mike? What we need to start doing? Brianne. Brianne is here. She'll be good at this. Brianne. Brianne is my link ninja, and she helps me during my lives. She's amazing. And Brianne, maybe you could start capturing things that people ask in lives often that might be good to put into like a one live that's like just so you know question topics. So like I could show how to make card bases. I can show the different magnets, all that. So maybe she could help. Sheila, is Lisa Horton US based? No, they are based in the UK, I believe. I didn't know Lisa. I heard about her inks, so I bought them. And her interference inks, which are a little bit different, and they're so cool. I've used them many times in lives. I bought the whole line and loved them so much. I contacted Lisa. She actually sent me these to try because she was coming out with them at the time. And I just think they're great. And it turns out Lisa's very kind and very talented, and that makes it all the better. Thank you, Brianne. You're the best. Okay. Now, I also used on this card the Waffle Flower Sunflower die. So this has this has so you can make individual sunflowers instead of the cluster. Well, what I did is like, see this die cut here? That's just like one layer. I'm going to add that layer on here. So these two bigger flowers are bigger, like have more fluff to it and more dimension. And then I'll pop these on top of the center that I have on there just for some dimension. You don't have to do this, but this is the sunflower, which goes, I mean, it has the leaves. You could actually add in some more leaves around this if you wanted to, but this goes nicely with the cluster die. So using the sunflower die, I die cut some flowers here and some centers. Now, if I would have been smart, which I'm not, I wouldn't have put all my inks away. For this, I'm going to go super light in the center. We'll go, oh, not that. Yeah, we'll do Cherry Blossom from Pink Fresh. Nina, thank you so much. What are my thoughts on Hammermill cardstock? Well, first of all, let me just mention this again. Brianne, I know she put into the chat some comment or link to my my Facebook group called Share Handmade Kindness. The purpose of that Facebook group is to have a safe place where there will be no negativity about the industry and where people can share all the different cards they make with lots of different companies, and where, you know, I'm going to use a regular brush this time, and where, I don't know, people could just connect. And it's a kind post only page. We're pretty particular about that. Brianne's one of my moderators over there. Now, the reason I'm talking about it is a few days ago, I pinned a post in that group that talks about what different white cardstocks I like for when. And in that post, I talk about the Hammermill. The Hammermill cardstock, the one that has the chameleon on it, is 110 pound, but it's not as thick as the Nina Classic Crest. So that's important to note, but it is super smooth and great for foiling and for blending and for stamping. But I use it when I foil. Sometimes I use it for other things, but not often. All right. Here, by the way, I'm just inking these individual die cuts from the sunflower die set that I'm going to layer on my cluster. So I'm using these two sets together. And notice how I'm using my grip mat to hold my die cuts in place as I ink them. If I were doing this on glass, my die cut would be moving everywhere. This is Gina K Warm Cocoa for the center. And then remember, I was going to dab some of the gold ink around the center because I'm covering the ones up on here. Just put some of that around the edge because I can. What time is it? Oh my gosh. Why do I always do this to myself? Okay, so this is the Lisa Horton gold metallic ink I'm putting around the edge. You could use whatever metallic inks you want. I just think these are pretty. All right, so let me clean off this. People ask how I clean my grip mat. I use A gentle baby wipe for quick cleaning. For better cleaning, I use an Ultra Clean stamp cleaner because it's a stamp material. I can use stamp cleaner to clean it. So here, I will take this, if I can find my glue. Oh, come along now. There it is. Most of my glues are packed up because I went on a crafting retreat this weekend. So they're packed up. I gotta get them all out. So this is just a layer from this that I'm gonna put on top of here just to make it more full. See how it just adds another layer? Don't have to do it, but you know me, I like to add those details, and I wanted you to know these coordinated nicely. Aren't these flowers pretty? And here's the same in blue. I did the same thing on this one in blue. This place is a pigsty. Don't tell anyone. What, Mike, what did Brutus, or what did Christopher Allen say in his class? That was, I was like, oh, that's...
You don't trust a clean crafter.
Never trust a clean crafter, he said. So, a craft room. Never trust a clean craft room. Well, we're set here then. I probably should use foam tape, but now I've got these little petals coming up. And then there's more dimension on those center little flowers. Suzette asks, like, do I like Gina or Alta New inks better? I like both. It's plain and simple. I use them both in videos. I like both. I think Gina has a nice classic, manageable collection. I say that a lot in videos. Alta New has breakdown of a lot of colors. I mean, they have tons of colors and they always have more coming out. So maybe you could pick and choose some kind of special colors from that. One thing I really like about Gina's colors is she's got cardstocks and envelopes to match.
And it's out of stock.
There you go. So look I added some layers. Isn't that fun? Yeah, Gina's inks are incredible. So are Alta New's. I like both. And you know that because I use them I use both in my videos. And I like Hero Arts and I like Concord. I like a lot of inks. Okay, now where's my scoreboard, Mike? Here it is. I put it away. All right, now to make this into a shaped card, this is what I like to do. I die cut another one. See how it goes back there? I die cut another one. I'm going to put this into my scoreboard, and I'm resting this along the bottom here, or the side of my scoreboard. Then I'm going to put a score line about half or quarter or 3/4 inch from the top. So right up there, and I'll fold back and forth there. Okay, just to kind of work it into a hinge. So you could do this with any large shaped die. This works really well. Okay, so now above that score line, I'll put some strong adhesive. I'm using Gina K Connect liquid adhesive in a fine tip bottle. My go-to. And I'll tape that so that it lines up behind the other. And what this will do is create that hinge so you can stand it up. Okay. The Facebook group is Share Handmade Kindness. You can Google that. You got to apply and promise to be nice and stuff, and then you can join. And it's a great place. I share special things there sometimes. It's nice. And we keep it kind. We keep it kind. And we don't even allow any posts that could go negative. It's just, there are other groups where you can ask for that kind of stuff. We just don't do it. Okay.
I don't want to say anything bad because Brianne's there and she's a ninja.
Brianne's my ninja. Okay. So this is the birthday wishes from the Essential Celebration. I'm just going to glue that right in the front center. And that actually hides some of those little holes. There's like little holes in this cluster because it's cut real nice. So I'm going to put my sentiment right over those holes, kind of like that. There we go. Okay. Now, I need a place to write a sentiment on the inside. I want something smooth. So I have cut somewhere, here we are, 2 white oval die cuts. And I'll put one glued on the inside, and that's where I'll write my personal message. So I'll glue it right here, and then it covers up those holes too. And I'll glue one on the back. You don't have to do this one, but I know people like to do like the hand stamped by Susie Stamper or whatever. Gianna said, Share Handmade Kindness is the best place on the internet. Thank you. They work really hard. Brianne just said we don't take any chance on meanies. And I do know that you can give your opinion on whether a product is good or not without being mean, but we just don't do it there. What happens is I don't want a store owner like Nina or Gina, that's cute, to come on and read something negative about something they worked so hard on. I wanted a safe place for them. Okay, so here are shape cards. This one I did add some little pearls to. There's a place to write a message in there. And that is a sunflower cluster. It's the same one that I used for all of these. Jennifer, did you create a score line at the top of the card so it had a hinge? Nope. It was, here, I can take it apart. Yeah, this is what I'm going to call regret. But I'm going to do it anyways. I can fix it later if I tear it. Ooh, come on, baby. There we go. So this was another plain white die cut. And I put a score line at the top, and I kind of folded it back and forth. Okay, so there's a score line right here. Then I put liquid adhesive on this. Never mind how bad this looks. It's dry already. And I'll place it on here so everything lines up. And now the top is glued together so it opens. So it opens like this, see? Hope that makes sense. And this, I've done this many times in videos. It works with any large die shape, heart, circle, square, whatever. All right. Jody asked, what layer weights of cardstock do I use on my card layers? I use the Neenah Classic Crush Solar White 110 pound for all layers because I like that thick look. If you want to use Neenah Classic Solar White 110 pound for your card base and you want a lighter weight for your layering, they have an 80 pound version too, and that would work. Oops. So there you go. Some things with the sunflower cluster. Now I don't know that I have time to show much else, but I do want to show you some things and maybe start another one. By the way, I didn't show this earlier. Oh, shoot. A die is down. Didn't show you this earlier, but if somebody wants to know, this sentiment here is the Sweet Lattice sentiments. It's another one that I really like. The different greetings, especially that thinking of you, and there's coordinating dies, and you can see how nice that looks. Linda, do you know who can make a stamp using your handwriting? Go Google Bossy Jossie, BOSSYJOSCIE. She could do it. She could do it. All right, so that, I just wanted to show you that stamp set. And I wanted to also show you these. These are from a video I did long ago. It's linked in the description below where it says videos using Postage Collage. These were some of the first ones I did. For these, I used the A2 Collage die. Then I used the Stencil. Remember the Stencil that's part of the bundles on sale right now. And I laid it on top of the die cut and I did stenciling over it. Just like we did today, but here's a different stencil set. Now this one, I laid the stencil down over the die cut and I stamped over it. So see, this is a big stamp here over, sorry, I'm in your way, over this rotate over this stencil. So I put this down, stamped and colored it, and then you get that. So you can do stamping over these or stenciling. All right. All right, good, good, good. All right, there was something else I wanted to show you. Oh, this is fun. This is fun. I could show this. So this is, got a lot of stuff here. This is another one I made. Now this is the A2. Oh dear, I'm gonna have a hard time finding it. No, I found it. Sorry when I reach in front of you, but my space is limited here. So I had mentioned earlier there's the block die that works with the A2 postage die. Later she's going to come out with one of these for A6 and A7. But these go together so that you get a different look from these. You could, instead of having the postage look, you could have a frame look and covering it up. But you can also cut them together And that's what I did here, so I could use pattern paper in the center. So I think I'm going to show you this, and then I can tell you how I did the other one. I think I'm going to show you this one. I think this is fun. And I know a lot of you have pattern papers that you want to put to use, and you definitely could here for this. So let me show you this. Mike, can you scroll it? Okay, so I have some pattern papers here. You can give me a vote on what you want me to use. Let me show you. So I found, there's a really nice company, and I need to use her dies in a video sometime because they're beautiful. I went and I bought all these. I have issues. These are, let me move this first. I have issues. You guys have issues too. You buy stuff too. These are different paper pads. I just got them all piled together because I got to organize them. But Divinity Designs has these great pattern papers. And I think they're really cool because some of them look like a sky, you know? And then there's some that are like, this is the one that I used right here. I have the paper pad that's linked below. Some of them are really bright and cheerful. Like, look at that. Isn't that cool? And then some of these have like a galaxy or like sun feel. Lots of beautiful ones. So I was getting these out and organizing them, and I thought I'd use them today. Here's some ocean. So if you don't want to do this on your own, it's nice to have these different options. Anyways, I bought all these. I thought they were fun. And I chose a few that I could possibly use today. This one's the electric spectrum pad. Look at those. Aren't those pretty? Yeah. She's got the Divinity Design team. I don't know them well, but I've communicated with them a bit, and they're super nice. I bought all these. Each pad has 32 designer papers, and they're 6 by 9. So you can actually fold these and make a card base, whatever. Okay. I kind of like that size. So from some of the Divinity ones, I chose some pattern paper. So we could do that.
Glossy or matte?
These have kind of a glossy finish to them. So here are some of the, let me just show you. These pretty, just a little, not gloss, not super glossy. Not like cardstock though. It's in between. It's really nice. These were some of my favorites that I picked out that I could use today. I cut some already to save some time, so I might use those. Also, if you're looking for good pattern papers that are great for backgrounds, like those Divinity Design ones, Creative Consortium has a lot of these too. Like, look at these. They look like inky backgrounds. They have tons of them, and I bought tons of them, and they would all work well for what we're doing. I've got a lot of those. And then Pink and Main. This one is so cute. I have this one linked below. Look at these. These have a little bit of a gloss finish to them. Look at those. Aren't those fun? She's got a lot of fun pattern papers too. So I could either do this technique today, which I'm not going to get all of it done, but I'll get most of it done. Either using this from Pink and Main, or I can use this from Divinity Designs. This one is the Divinity Designs version. So I use that paper to create that. So I could either do that or this. I think I'm gonna, since I have this one complete in this, I'll do this for you guys. How's that? All right, let's do that. So the pattern paper here on my card sample is from Divinity Designs. But the one I'm gonna use now is from Pink and Main, just so you could see a variety. There's the die set I was looking for before. All right, so to do this, I have to think. I gotta think. Ooh.
Pink and Main.
I'm gonna use the Pink and Main. This is the Pink and Main. It's in the description. Mike might need to add in the chat. I'm going to start with a piece of white cardstock, and this is the A2 Postage Collage block die. So this is an additional thing that you could buy that would go with your A2 Postage Collage die and your A2 Postage Collage Stencil. This block type of die is only available right now for A2, but she's going to have others in the future. I think that's right. I keep saying that, and I'm really hoping that's right. All right. So let's see. I use this block collage. die to cut from white cardstock. So I have this now. And remember, this you could just glue right on top and take your postage collage element and make it a framed element, right? But what I'm gonna do, throw things on the floor, and then I'm gonna take my postage collage die and cut it from this, all right? So let me get my machine out here, hold this on here. I'm gonna center up the best I can. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna run this through. What we got going on, Mike? Oh, okay. By the way, that Divinity Designs paper that I used for this, look at the frame piece, this leftover piece. This is awesome too. You could put white at the center of this. Just so much fun. I love that paper. And if you go to Divinity Designs, look at their dies. They have some incredible, incredible dies. I've bought many of them and I just need to use them. How's that for story of my life? I'm a hoarder too. I'm a hoarder too. Oh, Michelle's here too. I think Michelle Lupton's here. She is one of my moderators over in the Facebook group too. And I think I saw her remind everyone, if you join the Share Him Make Kindness Facebook group, you have to answer the questions in order to join. That's how we keep like creepers out. I answer the questions. Okay, so now look at what we have here. Usually when I cut with the postage collage die, we have solid centers. Now we have the outline. So you could just put this right on top here if you wanted to, right? Isn't that cool? But what I'm gonna do is use this die and cut it from the pattern paper, from whatever section I want. Oh, it's all so pretty. Crud. I'll go right there. Run that through my die cut machine. Hit me up with questions, Mike. Yeah, the ones that are 25% off right now are the bundles that are the die and the stencil that work together. Okay, so I used the collage block die. So I have these individual pieces that I can just pop right in. So I can save this, save this. There are a few other ways you could do this. This is the way that made sense to me when I was trying to come up with all this. All right. Where did my Misty go? Do you need special ink to stamp on glossy paper? Yeah, this isn't that glossy. I'm just going to stamp with a pigment ink and heat set it, and I think I'll be fine.
But in general, I guess.
In general? Yeah, if you have really glossy, you'll either want to use Stays On, or you'll want to use Ranger Archival. Now let's see, where do all these go? So I'm just going to pop these into this negative space here, the postage, on my waffle flower grip mat. Now you could line them back up so that it's like a continuous pattern, but I'm just kind of turning them around just to change things up. A few different ways you could do this. Then let's see, we'll put this one up here. This one down here. You know, I could. Another fun thing would be to mix in some of these. That'd be fun too, but I'm gonna stick with this. Okay, so I've got them lined up. They're just popped in there. And now I'm just gonna show how I went about doing this, and then I will show you, because I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish it all live. I'm gonna take some of these different images and lay them on here. I'm going to kind of follow what I did before so I don't have to think too hard. All right, Mike, hit me up with questions while I do this. Might as well try to answer some questions. Oh, by the way, this stamp set that I'm using here is the Wildflower Silhouettes. It's an older one from Waffle Flower, and I really like it. And these images are great to stamp in these on this postage collage. So you could use any different stamps that you have to do this. I know Gina K also has some great silhouette images, but you could use images you color too. Like there's lots of different options you can use here. I'm going to start with a flower on each. Maybe I'll put Let's put some butterflies in here. I'll put a butterfly right there. I'm not doing, I should have put down a clear piece over this to hold my stamps in place, but I didn't think about it at the time.
Okay, the link that wasn't working is the link in the supply list to the other supply list of posts.
Oh.
So I have to think of a way to...
You can create a playlist of those, Mike, and that might be the best bet. So I'm putting some little butterflies in here. So let me just do this quickly. So now I've got some things lined up, right? Could be any images you want. I'll pick them up with my MISTI. Now I'm going to remove the white part just so that I don't stamp on it with these images. And look at, they stay there. I'm going to use Altenew Obsidian Black Pigment ink, and I'll heat set it when I'm done. You could also heat emboss this if you wanted to. Stamp this. Look at that. Isn't that cool with that background? What size grip mat fits in the MISTI? Yes, the 6.5 by 8.5 inch grip mat fits in the MISTI, and I have it linked in my supply list. I have it linked in every supply list I ever do because I almost always use the MISTI in a video, and whenever I use a MISTI, it's in there. So let me take these out. I'll put these aside, put them away later-ish. Yeah, having the supplies is sometimes just as much fun as using them. Some people prefer the feeling of using them. Some people prefer the feeling of both. Some people like to hoard. Hey, whatever makes you happy, you do you. You do you. Now, I put that frame around it so that if I wanted to, I can stamp some of those postage images, which I can't find now. Oh, here they are. I have some of these postage images. So I can add this and it'll go across the white frame too. So I could put this here. I can put, you can tell I need to clean these and put them back. Put one here. I'll put one down here, like that. And then you can also do the little 50-cent pieces, but I'm going to skip that right now. Like the 50-cent, 30-cent, I'm just going to skip that now. It's easy stamping. But by doing this with the frame on, these like postage images will go across the whole piece. So we have like that. And it gives that postage feel. Now what I'm not going to do now, but I will add these little additional images. I put some words on it. Miss you, praying for you, my dear friend. And and hugs. And then I put some of the 50-cent, 30-cent images from that same stamp set on there. Now the words that I used here are from the Waffle Flower Oversized Happy. Is that where I got it? No, it's not. I don't know where that's from. I'm gonna have to find that. Maybe Nina's here and knows. I gotta find it. It was from one of the stamp sets that just has a lot of little sentiments, and I just put little sentiments on there just to give kind of a theme to the postage. So you can add those. I'm not gonna do it now to save some time. Instead, I'm gonna take this all off and put it back together, and then we'll have a card. So look how nice it holds those pieces in place so that you don't have to worry about them shifting as you're stamping. I want to know where that stamp set is. Dang it. Oh, here it is. It's from the Get Well stamp set. So these little sentiments, praying for you, miss you, my dear friend, and hugs, are from this Get Well stamp set. It's one that I use quite often because I like the sentiments in it. So now what I'll do is glue everything onto a piece of cardstock here. Just so it's all connected again. Are there any questions there, Mike?
About cleaning your clear stamps with baby wipes.
Okay, cleaning clear stamps with baby wipes. Okay, clear stamps with baby wipes. you want a safe, like you want a gentle baby wipe if you're going to use a clear stamp or use them to clear your stamps. I use Kirkland brand. You can get them at Costco or you can get them on Amazon. And I've been using them for probably 10 years. They're fragrance free, just naturally dry, and I've never had problems. Now, if you want to give a good cleaning, you want Ultra Clean, which is a spray. Many different companies have them. I usually use Hero Arts, but I know Simon Says Stamp has some. I've just used Hero Arts for a billion years, so that's why I've just had it since when I first started stamping. I've been using it and just refill it when needed. And that's the same thing that I use to clean my my grip mat. It's on the inside. Put something heavy on this. And so these are just getting glued back in place. There are a million ways I could have done this. This I just felt gave really clean results because your flowers stay on the pattern paper centers of the postage only. Oops, wrong one. And then the postage stamps that kind of spread across the white frame and your pattern paper pieces. So this is a fun way to use your pattern papers. So this is a nice size silhouette image for this, but you could also do like a giant silhouette image that stretches across it, or a few. I know Gina K's got some beautiful ones. Waffle Flower has a lot of large floral images like this one that are stamped, and then there's stencils to color it that work really well across it also. So now we have this as like one piece here. And you could always cut these apart. So I would go back and add some of those extra words on it, but this gives you the general idea. I will finish this and put it in a blog post for you. It just takes me some time. All right. Now on here, okay, one very important thing Mike is very, very correct on. Never, ever, 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 ever use rubbing alcohol on your stamps. Rubbing alcohol, I use in my craft room a lot, but there's only two things I use it on. I use it on my glass work surface, and I use it to clean my stencils. Never on your stamps. So for the rest of this card, here I have my, well, there's two different ones here. This is the pierced layering die, and this is the additional, so it's a little bit smaller. So you could do either. But on here I used those A2 pierced layering die, and you can see that piercing around the edge. Look how nice that just finishes it off. Look at that. That's beautiful. And that's that buttercream from Rainbow Splash Buttercream. If you have a tricky ink, yeah, you can use Ranger Archival Cleaner to clean your archival inks. Yes, you can do that. Yes, yes, yes. Now, the way I finished this card off is I used the Waffle Flower Print and Script Take Care die set. This is an oldie. I hope she still has it because it's old. It has this kind of script Take Care in the shadow die, or the block in the shadow die. And I did the block version, and I like that the two words are separate so you can put the words next to each other or stack them however you want. And I glued that on there. So that is how I did that card. Okay, so pattern papers, put them to good use. What you could do is set up all of your flower stamps on one and then switch out the pattern papers, and you can make a bunch of these with pattern papers at once. All right, and this is with the Divinity Designs paper in the background, and this one's with that pink and mane background. Those are all linked below. Oh, good. Nina said at Waffle Flower they still have this. I love this Take Care. Take Care is one of my favorite sentiments because I feel like it can be used for a lot of occasions, like sympathy or just thinking of you or sick or something like that. I did want to just mention, oh, great. Give me a moment. Mike, are there any questions? I can answer a couple more while I do this.
Is there an autumn die?
A what?
Was there an autumn die?
Yes, there was an autumn die at the beginning. It creates this, and it's in the supply list. Okay. Waffle Flower Autumn. Here it is right here. Autumn Word. Okay. And the flowers I used on this, again, were the wildflower silhouettes. And you could always make this card vertical too. Now I wanted to just talk about this one. I don't have the time to make it. I may try to do a video with it at some point. Maybe. I'll try. So do you see how I used the sunflower stencils on here, but it has that texture? What I did is I used that sunflower cluster die, and I made an impression on white cardstock using an embossing mat on my die cut machine. I did that first, and I stenciled all of it using the layering stencils, and then I used these two dies to cut out, just like I did on here, and I put the pieces in the center. All right. And then you just add the little stamp images over it. So you can see these centers were cut, the colored pieces were cut out. I use that. What stamp cleaner do I use with my pigment inks? I use Ultra Clean. I use Ultra Clean for everything. Waffle Flower may have an Ultra Clean. A lot of stamp companies do. It's just a very good thing to have in their shops. I don't know. Here, this is the Here Arts one. You can tell mine's old. Works great. All right. And oh, by the way, that Ultra Clean is what I actually use to clean my Misty too. My Misty doors if they get dirty. All right, so there you have. This is just some of them. There's more somewhere floating around here. Here are some different ideas for you. And if the postage die stuff isn't your thing, we got the shaped cards too. And again, the sale is on the postage collage dies and their coordinating stencil, which allows you to do cool things like these. All right. And it's in all sizes. It's an A2, A6, A7, mini slimline, and slimline. Right at the top of my YouTube description is a link to the ones that are on 25% off. And that is only for 24 hours. So that ends tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern because it's such a generous offer. Keep in mind though, Waffle Flower is going to have a big flash sale on some different things that work with this on Sunday. So you'll definitely want to check that out too. So lots of things here, a lot to take in. I know it's a lot to take in, but I will take photos of these cards and put up a post maybe later in the week or next week. I often will do a shortened replay if I go back and I look and I see if I can chop out stuff. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. Let me answer a few more questions. Is the Simon Says Stamp Ultra Clean the same as the Here Arts? I think it is. I think so. They both will be great. They would both be great. The colors of this pink floral, this is these pinkish purple flowers. I use Gina K Light Orchid, Dark Orchid, and Plum Punch. Plum Punch is a really dark, dark, dark. Love those colors together. The advantage of, I think you probably, Ruth asked, what's the advantage of using these together? You can do that. I think you probably asked that before I made this, but it allows you to do that outline and put different paper on the inside. Or you could just use this and cut it out and line it up right on top of it to make like a framed look. All right. Okay. How big is my glass mat? Carol asked. It's big. It's giant. It's the biggest one they have. It goes out about 6 inches more on the left and the right. So I got the biggest one they have. But really just whatever fits in your work surface. The black tray that I pulled into the video here, these are from like a cart that We Are Memory Keepers used to make. I don't know if they still make them. And it's just where I organize. I have been using these lately and I really like them. I don't know if they're linked. I don't think they're linked, but these are white trays. I linked them in my last video, but any kind of tray, inexpensive tray would work for just organizing. All right. Linda asked, were slimline cards were popular for a while and she doesn't see as many people using them? I think it's just a preference. I made some for a while, but I was starting to struggle with the length of them. And I didn't want to have to buy a lot of products designed just for slimline, but everybody's different. Also, as doing this as my job, it's hard to photograph slimline cards. It just is for me, at least. So that kind of keeps me away from doing them, but really it's whatever size works for you is what you should do, you know, and this is available in slimline.
Where did that thinking of you sentiment come from?
This one,
Yeah.
It's the Lattice, Sweet Lattice Sentiments. Bo asked, can you use the code for the flash sale with the JM Ink code? This JM Ink code for these bundles is only good through tomorrow. And then the flash sale is this weekend. But I will send out an email about that flash sale. If you're on my Crafty News page, oh, I gotta do a giveaway. Mike just reminded me. Quick, leave some comments. Yes, the JM Ink code will expire tomorrow. Hold on. Now, I gotta look on my phone because Nina told me what I could give away and I wanna make sure I give away the right thing. She said I could do three giveaways. I get to pick 3 people and you each get a bundle. So you can get the A2, A2, A6, or A7 die and stencil bundle. And we're gonna pick 3 winners, and she said she would ship international. Now I was gonna do a giveaway, but she offered to do it, and I'm really excited because that's a generous one. So 3 winners, and you can, if you get picked, just email me your address and which you want, the A2, A6, A7, slimline, or mini slimline bundles. All right, so Mike's gonna go through and pick 3 winners. While he does that, again, everything is linked below my YouTube description. I really appreciate you being here. I know my videos go long. It's just it's who I am. It's who I am. Yeah, a lot of different things here, and I will try to finish these up. Sometimes I leave the little assembly things till later so I can show you the technique-y things in the live and show you more. Yes, Waffle Flower is very generous. Do you have a winner?
3 winners?
3 winners.
All right. First one, Francis Smith.
Francis Smith is the first winner.
Janet Robson.
Janet Robson is the second.
And Debbie Liebscher.
And Debbie Liebscher.
Liebscher. I will put them in the chat.
Mike is going to put them in the chat. So if the 3 of you could email me through my website, give me your addresses and which size bundle, which of the different size postage collage bundles you want, I will get Nina to send those. So thank you, Nina, over at Waffle Flower for doing that. I really, really appreciate your generosity because it's your reward for watching a long live. That's what happens. That's what happens. So I appreciate it. Okay, so that's it for today. 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's the way it goes. I will be going live again soon. I think I might go live on Wednesday afternoon sometime, maybe. I saw somebody asked about online card classes and when that's going to be announced. It will be announced very soon. So if you want to make sure you find out when the next online card class is, I recommend going over to my website and going to the register option, and you can register for my Crafty News page, the Crafty News and Sales. You can also register there to get a text whenever I go live. And so there you go. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. I know I put a lot of information out there, but remember, you can always go back and watch bits and pieces. I think that's it. And thank you again, Waffle Flower, for the generous offer. And I will be back tomorrow with a regular video for you. So stay tuned for that. All right. Well, thank you so much for spending this time with me. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Mike's not ready.